I want to talk to you about that very specific, slightly unsettling moment when you wake up and realize the silence isn't just outside your window, it's inside your day. Do you remember how it used to be? For 40 years, perhaps more, your life was a series of sharp, rhythmic punctuations. The shrill beep of the alarm at 6 a.m., the rush of the kettle, the slamming of a car door, the deadlines that chased you like shadows. You were a person of schedules. Your worth was measured in 30-minute increments, and your calendar was a battlefield of red ink and urgent reminders. You were needed. You were scheduled. You were accounted for. And then, one day, the alarm stopped ringing. Maybe it was a choice you celebrated with cake and a gold watch, or maybe it was a transition that arrived more quietly than you expected. But suddenly, you found yourself standing in the middle of a Tuesday morning with nothing but a blank white square on the calendar. And if you're being honest, in that way we only are with ourselves in the dark, it didn't feel like the freedom the brochures promised. It felt like a fall. It felt like stepping off a moving train and realizing the ground beneath your feet is much steadier, but also much lonelier than you remembered. I know that feeling of looking at an open schedule and feeling a wave of panic instead of joy. We call it free time, but for many of us, it feels more like empty time. When there's no one telling you where to be, no boss waiting for a report, and no children waiting for a ride, the question of who am I becomes very, very loud. Without the structure of the great doing, we feel as though we're disappearing. We feel like ghosts in our own homes, wandering from the kitchen to the living room, wondering if the world has simply forgotten we are still here. We feel a strange guilt for sitting still, a ghost limb itch to be productive, as if being busy was the only thing keeping us tethered to the earth. If you are sitting there today, staring at a day that has no borders and no demands, feeling like you are drifting in the middle of a vast, silent ocean, I want you to know that I see you. I know the weight of that emptiness. I know the way you might find yourself checking the mail 3 times just to have a destination, or the way you linger at the grocery store just to hear the sound of another human voice. It is a profound and frightening transition to move from a life defined by should to a life defined by can. But I want to tell you that the day the alarm stopped ringing wasn't the end of your purpose. It was actually the first day of your real life. The music hasn't stopped. The orchestra has just finished the frantic opening number, and now it is time for the soul's solo. Let's just take a moment to breathe into that space together. You don't need to figure out the rest of your life in the next 5 minutes. You don't even need to figure out what you're doing for lunch. For right now, I want you to just notice the room you are in. Look at the way the light is falling across the floor. It's a soft, slow light, isn't it? It's not the harsh neon light of an office or the frantic light of a morning commute. It's a patient light. It has all day to move from one side of the room to the other. Close your eyes for a second if you feel comfortable doing so. Let your hands rest loosely in your lap. Feel the weight of your feet on the floor. Feel the support of the chair beneath you. You are held. You are grounded. You are not floating away into the void. You are simply resting on the surface of a very deep peace. Listen to the sounds that are usually drowned out by the noise of busyness. Perhaps it's the ticking of a clock that you usually ignore, or the distant rustle of leaves outside. These sounds aren't interruptions. They are the rhythm of the world continuing to turn, even when you aren't the one pushing it. Notice your breath. It's been doing its job without a schedule for your entire life. It doesn't need an alarm to tell it when to rise and when to fall. It just knows. your body knows how to exist without a manual. As you sit here, try to let go of that tight knot in your stomach, the one that feels like you're late for something you can't quite remember. You aren't late. You aren't behind. There is no one at the finish line waiting to check your timesheet. You have arrived. This open schedule is not a hole to be filled. It is a field to be walked through, slowly, with no particular destination in mind. Let the silence be a cool cloth on a forehead that has been feverish with doing for too many years. Just be here. Just be you. That is more than enough. I want to share a story with you about a man named Thomas. Thomas was an architect, a man whose entire existence was built on straight lines, blueprints, and rigid deadlines. His life was a series of if-then statements. If he finished the drawings by Friday, then the project could move forward. If he managed his team well, then the building would stand. He loved the structure. He thrived on the pressure. When Thomas retired, he felt as though his internal compass had been smashed. For the first few months, he tried to engineer his retirement. He made spreadsheets for his hobbies. He scheduled reading time from 9 to 10 and gardening from 10:30 to 11:30. But the more he tried to control the time, the more miserable he became. The books felt like chores, and the garden felt like work. One morning, he sat on his porch, looking at his neatly printed schedule, and he started to cry. He realized he wasn't free. He was just his own boss, and he was a very demanding one. That afternoon, he did something radical. He took his schedule, tore it into small pieces, and put it in the recycling bin. He decided that for 1 week, he would live like a flâneur, a French word for a person who wanders without a purpose, simply to observe the world. On the first day, he found himself walking toward the park. He noticed a specific type of moss growing on the north side of an old oak tree, a detail he would have missed for 40 years because he was always walking with a destination in mind. He spent an hour watching a young father teach his daughter how to fly a kite. He realized that for his entire career, he had been building houses for people to live in, but he had never actually stopped to watch them living. Thomas discovered something profound. Joy isn't a task you check off a list. Joy is a frequency you tune into when you stop trying to control the clock. He realized that an open schedule isn't a sign that your life is empty. It's a sign that your life is finally big enough to hold the things that don't have a use. We have been conditioned to believe that if something isn't productive, it is wasteful. But I ask you, is a sunset wasteful? Is the scent of a rose after the rain useless because it doesn't result in a paycheck? Of course not. The most beautiful things in the universe have no purpose other than to be beautiful. You are now in the Thomas phase of your life. You are moving from being the architect of structures to being the observer of beauty. When you look at your empty calendar, try to see it not as a lack of meaning, but as a lack of noise. In the silence of an open day, you can finally hear the whispers of your own curiosity. Maybe today you don't need to do anything. Maybe today you just need to follow a curiosity. Maybe you spend 2 hours researching a bird you saw in the yard. Maybe you spend the afternoon listening to an album you haven't heard since you were 20. This is the secret that no one tells us. The joy of an open schedule isn't in what you fill it with. It's in the fact that you no longer have to fill it at all. You are allowed to be a wanderer in your own life. You are allowed to be a student of the small things. The alarm stopped ringing so that you could finally hear the birds, the wind, and the sound of your own soul saying, "I am finally here." Let's sit with that idea for a moment. The transition from doing to being is a journey inward. I'm going to share some thoughts with you now. If they resonate, Let them echo in your mind. If you feel like saying them quietly to yourself, please do. I am not what I do. I am who I am. My time is my own, and it is a gift, not a burden. I release the guilt of being still. I am allowed to move slowly. An empty calendar is an invitation to wonder. I am worthy of this rest. I have earned this peace. Today, I choose to follow my heart, not a clock. I am not lost. I am exploring. The world does not need me to be busy. It needs me to be whole. I am at peace with the quiet. Now I want you to just sit in the silence that follows those words. Let the stillness expand. Notice if there is a part of you that is still trying to plan for tomorrow. Gently tell that part, not right now. Right now, we are just here. Feel the space in your chest. Is it a little lighter? Is the air a little easier to catch? You are a human being, not a human doing. You are allowed to simply exist. In this very moment, you are fulfilling your highest purpose just by being alive and present.
As we finish our time together, I want you to look at your day not as a mountain to climb, but as a path to stroll. You don't have to achieve anything today to be a success. If the only thing you do today is enjoy a warm meal and notice the shape of a cloud, you have lived a successful day. The alarm clock was a tool for a different season of your life. It served you well, but its time has passed. You are now in a season of organic time, where your heart and your curiosity are the only guides you need. It's okay if it feels a little strange at first. It's okay if you feel a little lonely. That loneliness is just the space where a new kind of joy is getting ready to bloom. Before you go, I'd love for us to connect. If you feel like sharing, leave a comment below and tell me, if you could do one thing today purely for the useless joy of it, what would it be? Whether it's sitting on a park bench, rereading a favorite poem, or just trying a new tea, let's celebrate the beauty of the unplanned together. Carry this peace with you. Remember that you are not forgotten, you are not invisible, and you are certainly not done. You are simply beginning a more beautiful chapter. May your day be slow, may your heart be light, and may you find a sudden, unexpected joy in the middle of your open schedule. I'm so glad we spent this time together. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself.